on here. We've got David in Georgia. You are live with Phil and Matt. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
And is that Georgia a state in the United States?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's Georgia in the United States. Yes, but we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Did they give you the question or whatever about the magnetic field?
Yeah, it says here that you're saying that if you go back 100,000, I'm assuming 100,000 years.
Yes, sir.
You're saying the magnetic field would not have been able to support life on Earth?
Yeah, the whole Earth would have been like a giant microwave. You know, like how they make people leave the Hadron Collider when they turn it on because the magnetation.
Yeah. No, I don't know that.
None of that's true, by the way. None of that's true, by the way. The Earth's magnetic field is created by something that we call the dynamo. It's been around for about 3.5 billion years. It started off weak, intensified, and now is weakening again. And it occasionally goes through reversals, like one happened about 780,000 years ago. But what you're describing,
I've seen the Google. I've seen the Google thing. You're avoiding, like I said. The problem is they can sit there and measure the magnetic field by isotope dating, and they sit there and they know the decay rate and everything. They got all this documented. And like I said, if you go back 100,000 years, no biological life on Earth would have been sustainable. All this is scientifically documented.
Where is it scientifically documented? Because the entirety of Earth's geologists and biologists seem to not be aware of this feature that you found.
Nobel Prize time here.
You're on with the computer. You're welcome to look it up.
Why would I have to go look up your unfounded assertions? Hey, you know what else I heard? I heard that last week they found a brain in a jar. Was it yours?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Y'all sit there on the show and you sit there and you say this, okay, that you're not going to believe anything without scientific evidence, right?
I would like you to justify your assertion, sir.
Well, I am going to justify my assertion, but like I said, I need to sit there and make sure I'm not dealing with a hypocritical point of view. So, if I don't have any scientific evidence to back anything up, you won't believe it, right?
I'm asking you to justify your claim. I'm happy to believe it just as soon as there's evidence for it, but I've already seen evidence that contradicts your claim.
I've already told you science has been able to measure the decay of the magnetic field for the past 200 years, and they've already seen that every 1,500 years it decays every 2%. So if you sit there and do the math, which you're welcome to go look this up, I can't do it right now. I'm driving. 100,000 years ago, the magnification of that would have been 200% more than it is now, and there would have been no life on Earth.
Hey, you know what's funny, Matt? I see this. I see this a lot in investments where people can look at a pattern going back a few years or even a longer period of time, and then assume that pattern continues back indefinitely. That's a terrible mistake. You can't look at 10 or 20 or 100 or 200 years of data and then just automatically assume that goes back without change or variation for 100,000 years. What are you basing that on?
Scientists do it all the time. It's called research.
Hey,
wow, that's not research at all. That's math.
David, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you a scientist? Do you have some expertise in this field?
Yes, I do. I do have a bachelor's degree.
A bachelor's degree in what?
Are you? Huh?
A bachelor's degree in what?
Anthropology, history, and science.
Okay. What does that have to do with the magnetic field? Because the science on the magnetic field, which is really...
we do radiocarbon dating on fossils and everything all the time.
Oh, my God. Are you going to let me finish?
Archaeological sites and everything.
He's not going to let you finish. He doesn't care.
And for your own safety, David, stop talking when you're driving and call us when you're not.
Go ahead and hang up. Don't answer
Thank you for wasting the time.
Wow, that was profound.
Yeah. It's
profoundly ignorant.
It takes, I'm sure somebody in chat has already gone to Google this nonsense. And one of the things that we know is if you take a look at the Earth's magnetic field, we know that it flips occasionally. It's like many times in the last, 80 some odd million years or whatever. 183 times in 80 some million years is the figure that I found. Now that could be wrong. And I also found a claim from scientists describing what happened with the magnetic field that showed that the magnetic field started off weak, which is what you'd expect from a dynamo engine within the core of the Earth starting up. It would start off weak, get stronger. But I don't understand this assumption that if we can tell a difference that therefore we can extrapolate backwards.
Yeah, that's a leap too far, way too far. The other thing that's always fascinating to me is that the nice thing about the internet is you can find out any information you want. The bad thing about the internet is you can find any information you want. You can find a web page that confirms your pet theory. And if our previous caller really wants to understand the magnetic fields, find a nearby university, find professors in geology or physics, chemistry, and call them up, set up an appointment, a phone conversation, and they can educate you far better than we can, because this is not the Earth's magnetic field show. This is Atheist Experience. So thanks for playing.